the orbital battlefield above Virex. 9 was a graveyard of smoldering ships and broken silence. Cries over comms had long since turned to static. What remained was debris, drifting like the ghosts of 100 species that had tried, and failed, to stop the Zorthan advance. Captain Vilek of the Tiernari Republic stood rigid on the bridge of the Alam Var, his hands clenched behind his back. His once proud fleet was reduced to a single limping cruiser surrounded by scavenger drones and enemy patrols. "Sir," croaked his comms officer, barely standing. "Emergency signal from the human envoy ship. They're still alive, orbiting just outside the blast range." Vilek turned sharply. "Humans? I thought they evacuated." "They refused," said. "They were waiting for something." Vilek narrowed his eyes. What could they possibly be waiting for? The officer looked up, pale. "They said to sit tight." Vilek blinked. "Sit tight." The comms console lit up again and opened broadcast. Crude, unencrypted, and unmistakably human. "All surviving coalition units, this is Commander Hart of the UHS Vanguard. Sit tight. Human warship incoming." A murmur spread across the bridge. "That's suicide," Vilek whispered. "One warship against a Zorthan fleet?" No one answered. Then space cracked open. A rupture in subspace unfolded like a blooming wound. From the rift emerged a vessel unlike anything Vilek had ever seen. Sleek, matte black, no visible engines. It made no sound, no light, no warning. The Vanguard. The Zorthans reacted instantly, launching torpedoes and kinetic rounds. Hundreds of them streaked toward the human ship. But before the weapons reached, they stopped. Frozen in space mid-flight, as if space-time itself refused to let them proceed. Then the Vanguard moved. It didn't fly. It disappeared, blinking from one point to another like a glitch in reality, appearing behind the lead Zorthan battleship. Without visible weapons, it released a burst of gravimetric energy that imploded the enemy ship into a singularity. No explosion, just silence and absence. Vilek's crew stood in stunned awe. "What kind of weapon was that?" his science officer breathed. "That's not a weapon," Vilek muttered. "That's a statement." The Zorthans, known across the quadrant for their ruthlessness, hesitated for the first time. Their fleet began to reposition, uncertain. The Vanguard blinked again, this time, unleashing a cluster of drones that weren't drones at all, but sentient AI-powered shrapnel, adapting and evolving mid-flight. They burrowed into hulls, scrambled command systems, turned enemy ships against each other. One Zorthan dreadnought tried to flee. The Vanguard didn't fire. It simply pinged it with a signal. The dreadnought turned itself around and self-destructed. Vilek was speechless. "Sir," his comms officer said, "Commander Hart is requesting to speak with you." Vilek nodded, and a hollow projection flared to life. A human in dark combat armor appeared, battle-worn, calm, and utterly unfazed. "Captain Vilek," Hart said with a slight grin. "Told you to sit tight." Vilek blinked. How is that ship even possible?" Hart's smile faded. "That's what happens when you poke a death world for too long. We build things not just to fight, but to make sure no one tries again." "Why come back?" Vilek asked. "You could have escaped. The war wasn't yours anymore." Hart nodded slowly. "Yeah. But someone has to teach these bastards what fear feels like." Behind him, the Vanguard blinked again, and the Zorthan flagship vanished. No explosion. No debris. Just nothing. Vilek swallowed. The Zorthan fleet, once proud and unstoppable, began retreating in every direction. There was no battle cry, no last stand, just terror. Within minutes, the system was clear. The Vanguard hovered alone, untouched.